Hey everybody, it's Matt and Dyan, and welcome back to Ok Aussie Moving Edition time. Again, behave you. So, phase one
So
completed.
my autism transition.
Yeah, hasn't been all that good, has it, darling?
No.
No, very, very difficult being autistic and dealing with transitions, changes in routine, particularly transitions where it's a change of familiarity of locations, and we have just moved house. Now, this part of it, phase one, is moving into STA, short-term accommodation, and we've got this apartment as a respite STA accommodation for a week while we actually do the full upload. Now, the truck drivers are coming tomorrow, but apparently there's 3 truck drivers. They probably wish there was 5 by the time they're finished. So there's 3 truckies coming with a big truck. I hope it's a big truck because we've heard them say that before, haven't we, everybody? Yeah, so that's tomorrow. And they're going to be moving the whole boxes and everything else across into our actualized apartment, and then we can get it set up. But how, in the meantime, are you feeling emotionally and physically?
I miss my friends.
Yeah, it is sad, isn't it? Yeah, that loss of change, even though it's a necessary change for stability.
Apartment, but it's the respite one, but that's okay. But still, it's hard.
It is.
It's not our apartment.
No.
And at the same time, I've left a home that we made a home, and my friends. It's hard.
It's been a familiar place for 7 months, and we've now once again lost that thread of continuity and regularity.
The stress is so much, guys. Like 7 times.
This is 8, because we're now adding another in-between phase.
8 moves in 5 years. Like
8 moves. Just think about it. If you've had to move your own home 8 times.
I know that this time, yes, was less stress than the last time in other ways, but I don't think you can ever make moving house easy. I don't think anyone can ever say they can do that.
And I don't think anyone likes moving.
Emotionally, people need to be settled.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, you're in a bed which is not a hospital bed.
And there's no TV in the room.
No, but you've got a picture. We can tune in and watch the picture.
So the miscommunication about the hospital bed was confusing.
So you were told that you were getting a hospital bed to move to.
Spine.
Not easy, yeah.
I'm in a lot of pain
because of CCI.
For probably 4 hours total today.
Oh, too long.
Which is too long.
Yeah.
And which now makes me angry at the NGIS because I should have many different, like 2 different types of wheelchairs. One that supports me for
something to be able to recline, basically.
Moments, when I cannot have a bed to lay down in. Yeah. Because I'm getting more scans done of my back because I'm in so much pain.
Yeah, now I have just given you some pain and anti-inflammatory medications as an addition to your normal daily routine. So these are PRNs just to try and help you with the pain side of things. We do have the alternating air mattress. It's a level 4 pressure care Sericel mattress on Dyan's bed. So at least we're getting the pressure care side of things. And you're right, you just said you don't know the people. So that's part of that transitionary change, even though they're lovely, they're trying, they are going out of their way, but they're also a new agency and they've only been at it for a few weeks, really. So we are feeling a bit like the first pancake again. You know what it's like when you move in, or the first pancake that you make. Sometimes it gets a bit broken around the edges and you might throw it aside and your future pancakes improve. There's Turtle Cat. The meow that you got in your unboxing yesterday, one of your going away presents from the... Okay, you're calling it Jack. Anyway, apparently it's Jack, the
real Jack
turtle cat comes.
Until my second cat. Jack
or until the people at home give us a new name for the turtle cat.
No, Jack.
Jack. Okay, we're going with Jack.
No, the real cat's also going to be Jack.
The real floof. The
new floof.
The spare floof to go with Willow the Ragdoll. The new Ragdoll, once we get that, it's going to be called Jack.
He needs a brother and it's going to be Jack.
Jack. Okay, well, there you go. We just have to find a ragdoll and get that organised somehow soon in the near future. But it's something exciting to watch.
I'm just saying I'm saving
No, we don't, because moving has been damn expensive.
Is to get in my brother because
companion for him.
I'm used to having 2 cats because if I lose a cat,
continuity is important.
I can't handle one day, 1 week without an animal like a cat.
It's a bit of continuity or preparation planning. We always do plan for things, contingency plannings, just in case And as Willow's now approaching his 8th sort of age and birthday,
and with the heritage of
genetic heritage of that particular breeding line, unfortunately.
We got screwed over.
So we're cautious in that regards. But look, talking about the travelling and the moving part, Willow did very well. He was meowing, as a cat does, during the transition of himself moving from home.
He's still wandering around like...
He's finding his way.
He's acting like he's a Scottish cat today.
Oh, one of us little short legs.
He's doing a T-Rex.
I love those little short-legged cats. They're so
like
cute.
He's got short legs. He looks like one.
He looks like a T-Rex. He does.
He walks around like short legs, like his legs have half.
Yeah, but he's got his cat tower just over there next to Mummy. We've got the cat tunnel just over there next to Daddy.
And look at my cool band-aid.
You've got a band-aid on your
So
neck.
basically, I don't know how I got this graze.
Yeah.
Turned into a scab. It got itchy. I accidentally ripped the scab off.
Oh no.
Now, my immune system, the last blood results were...
We know your immune system is really low.
It's not healing, but guess what I did?
Neutropenia.
This is really clever if you have neutropenia.
Right.
I put lots of Savlon in there.
Great antiseptic
Make sure
cream.
It's clean, of course. Always stay
clean your wound.
When
wound care.
When you're neutropenic. But like, I put it on the actual padding of the band-aid.
Yeah, so that's
and then I put it on the sore, put it on, leave it on all day. Yeah. The redness overnight, in just one night,
Savlon's
went
great.
down.
Absolutely. Love Savlon.
Savlon's actually got a mild antibiotic in it.
Yeah, and it's an antiseptic cream.
Put it on your pimples.
It is actually good as a facial cream, believe it or not, as well.
Just put dots on.
Because it cleans the pores of the face.
Even if you have to rub it in, it'll still work. But if you put like a dot on it at night time, I mean, you might look like a weirdo, but I'm telling you, the antiseptic and the antibiotic in it, because pimples are just infection. They
are indeed. Now, other parts of the move. So let's bring them up to date about the moving or what we've done, because it has been a bit tumultuous in the process. We do expect certain things. We understand that with Dyan and being autistic and transitions, that there's going to be...
You don't like them?
You're not going to like them. We do everything we can to prepare for them. It is
pretty here, isn't it?
Oh, it is. But it is home. As in, we're in the apartment building. It's not the apartment that we're going into, the specific unit. That's another layer or level above us, and it's a little bit further back that way. But it's very familiar. When I look outside the windows, we can still see the Swan River. We can see the city of Perth. We can see all the familiar tree lines that we've been used to for a couple of years now, because we're moving back home. Now, the birds moved incredibly well. They were in the moving box by Diane's feet in the car. She did very well with them, and they did exceptionally well. I think maybe it's because of the very special little honey log treat that I gave them.
Oh my gosh, they loved it.
They were devouring that.
To get it again.
Great distraction, get them a good food as they're travelling. I think they wanted to go back into that carrier just to finish eating that. But they've been very happy. They're very comfortable. I've cleaned out their cage before we move, so they're all set up.
Yep. I can clean it.
No, I haven't cleaned the carrier yet, so that's my next to-do list.
That's what we have to do.
A lot of settling, and even though we've brought the temporary things with us, it's setting all of those up so that we're functional. Now, the team here have also just done an Uber Eats down to the local shopping centre for Woolworths and got Dyan some salads and some drink and some milk and things.
They got me my food stuff.
Yeah, your Mexican salads.
My gastroparesis, and also, you know, being autistic, making everything a change.
Yeah, exactly. We need continuity, and dietary-wise, we need continuity.
I've been holding that in. I thought I'd hold it in for the video, but guys, you guys bring it out of me because I trust you guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I relate to you.
You're our people.
You guys relate to me.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, doesn't have to be a negative transition for an autistic to feel
even
this
a
way.
Positive experience can still be a stress. We all know that.
Transition can
there can be a nervousness around a positive experience.
Transition. Ever since I was a kid, I used to get I would call it like an hour of depression. Right, as a child. Yep. And it was when dusk was happening.
Yes, at the end of the day,
from day to
night mode.
I didn't cope with it, and I think my mum knew it by my behaviour, and found it very difficult. Although it helped because she was very much regimented. Yeah.
Now we try to also deal with transitions and helping you stay calm by communicating a lot, by using social stories of preparation or what to expect. And look, when you're changing routine, by explaining what the new routine is going to be, by outlining what should be happening.
I didn't know this one.
No. And look, also what we've found is because we're dealing with new people, new agencies, it became a bit like Chinese whispers, because what you're told by one person wasn't the same that the next person has learned or found out or they could agree upon. And then by the time the third person came in or the fourth person came in, that Chinese whispers got really muddled up, and you got to go to your source. So that's why I said, no, let's stop. Let's go back to the source. Who's the main person I'm speaking to? Who's the decision maker?
But
Let's
you know
get some things done.
That's sad.
Yeah, what?
Is when you're autistic and you don't talk much, socialize much, you're not very good at leading. You're very much like a follower. You're quiet, unless, I don't know, you click with them because maybe they're neurodivergent or they're just a like sensitive person. We fit in with them too, but like and people can be a combo, but I feel like then they just don't want to like socialize with me, because they think that because I'm not initiating that I don't want it, but I do.
Absolutely. And look, there's a lot of things in that. First of all, they're people
being autistic.
They're people who don't know you. They don't know what your regular or normal baseline is. Their first time meeting some of these people. Like you've met a couple of people today for the very first time, putting faces to names, so you haven't actually met them beforehand. You've also just been through a massive upheaval of change, going from your home of stability for 7 months. Exactly, I know, from the old place. Of course you do. And then you've also had this whole stress, and there's a big stress. We all know what moving stresses are like, whether things might get broken, where things are being placed, if they're going to be looked after. No, we can't, absolutely.
We have to have things moved. As you guys can imagine, when you've moved house, everyone's the same, right?
Of course you do.
Moving's expensive. You know, not everything's been covered.
No.
And like, basically, you know, you always worry about your stuff. Like, sentimental.
You can't replace.
Affordability.
Look, for the first level, things that are sentimental, you may never ever be able to replace. Once they're gone or broken. So we're very conscious of that, and we've been together for over 34 years now. So those things that have accumulated over our lifetime together are important to us. Our memories of our family as we've also progressed.
And I'm a collector.
From a financial perspective, you're also right. Some things, you know, you can't just go, oh, well, got damaged in the move, let's go and get a new one. No, it doesn't work like that.
Can't afford it.
We can't afford it. When you're on a pension or with disability, there isn't that ample funding when we're struggling just to pay for medications or access, you know, certain types of treatment, let alone living day to day in a cost of living crisis.
I don't know if anyone's noticed. You wouldn't notice probably if you're maybe a lay person, or maybe you have if you've had an injury or a health thing, but Medicare is changing. Month by month, they are taking away and they are creating gaps we have to pay, including pensioners. And it's killing us. And I'll say this as a rare syndrome person whose whole body is affected. I can't afford this, government.
No, and that's been in recent conversations that we've talked about with things like domiciliary, which is home care services for pathology.
Well, that's why my GP says put me in as an inpatient, because it's getting stupid.
Some of those things are common sense, as he says, and he just shakes his head when he says it, because he knows common sense and then the practicalities of the actualization when it comes to the realisation.
They don't care.
There's a huge divide in the gap.
But I'm just saying, Medicare.
I get that.
You're getting,
but you're right, and you're right about our costs. Whether it's what's on the PBS, the pharmaceutical benefits scheme, whether it's what's under radiology or pathology, things are actually expensive.
Blood tests do I have to
you have three. You've got 3 test forms set up, and that's got multiple tests per form.
After I've already had 2.
2 recently, I know, but I'm not scheduling.
And that could have been done in 1. So Medicare. Think of
efficiency.
I am not a business person, but think of this.
Yep. Okay.
And Turtle Cat
she's on her soapbox. She's Turtle
Cat knows this.
Yep.
Right.
What's his name?
Basically, when you send a call out fee.
5
times.
Yep. Compared to doing it once.
6 instead of 1.
Yep.
Do the math.
Yeah, I think
you don't have to be like a genius to know that.
Indeed. Now, so that's the financial side of things. We are very conscious of that. Turtle Cat knows well, and Dyan's always very conscious about saving dollars wherever she can. She's good with the budget. Now, other parts of our transition and our move today. It is a nice location. This is one of the 1-bedroom apartments, not quite the same as what we're going into, because we're going into a 2-bedroom apartment. So there's a slight difference in it, but it's still the same features. The intercom system's the same, the paint colours, the door structures, the air conditioning, the window treatments, everything's still the same in that regards.
Door, because it's not in your way.
So that was a sliding door over there. It looked good because they slide into the wall cavity rather than opening back and forth. So with a disability and a wheelchair, that's great for accessibility. It is a high functioning accessibility style accommodation, so that's really cool.
But
now,
the 1 bedrooms are nice.
They are nice. So cat did well, birds did well. Tinkerbell, the fish.
And this cat.
She also travelled very well. She travelled on Dyan's lap in the portable fish tank. There was a little bit of splishing and splashing. So Dyan was having to be like a water spirit. You know, spirit level? She was trying to have to level
we had to empty some
as we go around the curves of the road as we're driving.
We had to empty some.
We did.
And you know what? I've got 3 hernias.
Yes.
The one in the middle.
Because you've strained yourself in holding and balancing.
I strained it.
I know. So that's why I've given you some medication to try and help appease that. You're going to have to be resting for the next couple of days.
You know what? It's actually working already.
Good. I'm glad. I really am glad.
But still, I've got to be careful how I've got to roll to the side.
Sitting up, standing up. You do. You have to take it a lot more carefully.
Anyway, we've got to work out where these beds come from. Because I might have to get one.
There's not enough room in the other room. Not enough in the studio. And it's
office, studio, art room.
Yeah, it's the jack of all trades room apparently.
Spare room.
A bit like Jack the Cat.
I mean, you might come back to Australia
from Edinburgh.
And you might want to stay. And there's a whole room for you to stay in.
We'll work on that. We'll find a room. Anyway, so what's on the next on our agendas? Now, we've got to do dinner. So you've got salad set aside for yourself. I need to go and get some food tonight for meal. Yeah.
Again, it's Mexican.
Absolutely.
They got my Mexican salad.
Indeed, I found that on the app
Available
and they got that sorted out. Tomorrow the truck is coming, so I do have to either leave you. That's the problem. Now they've scheduled the truck anywhere between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. And as I said, well, that's stupid. If they were to come, I just did a scenario with it. It's like, well, if they were to come at 2 p.m., even though they've got 3 men in a truck, big truck apparently, it's going to take them anywhere between 3.5 hours as an estimate with 3 people, because you've got to go one small lift up and down. You can only fit so much in a lift at a time, and there's other people who are using the lift. That's the first part. So they've got to fill up the truck. If they start at 2 o'clock and they take, let's say, 3.5 hours, that's already 5:30. That's about 25-minute drive. That's 6 p.m. Peak hour traffic.
And also, guys, here
there's a limitation.
I actually agree with too, because when you live here, it's a good thing.
Yeah.
The lift for moving closes at 6 p.m. the day you have it. So...
Which means if they were to get here and start trying to do the unload from their truck, which is in the laneway, they have to then come through the basement, up to the lift, up to the floor, up to the room, and get it in there.
Pretty singing.
It also can take quite a bit of time. Now, at least from the laneway, they're going down the ramp into the car park, so it's a little bit easier going down rather than going up. But you've still got to wait for the lift, pack the lift, take it up, and then go to the apartment. That could still be another 3.5 hours this end.
And it is only 3 people.
Well, 3 people can only do so much, and they can only move so fast.
There's only one small lift.
Anyway, things across. Because, of course, if it doesn't get done tomorrow, or if I split into the next day, what happens with the knockover effect of it going onto Wednesday? Because Wednesday morning, we've got the cleaner booked for coming in to actually do the vacate clean. And then in the afternoon,
they could just rent out the bond, can't they?
No, I was have to do things. But in the afternoon, I'm actually booked to actually hand the keys back. So I have to actually bounce all of those things and reschedule the cleaner and the key handling back to the next day after, if that's the case. Look, it can be done, but it's coordination and stuffing around. So there's 2 things that I have to do. I have to actually go out and meet the truck drivers and let them in and show them around the property and make sure they can do all that part.
Yeah.
And then when they get here at the new apartment where we're at, I'm going to have to meet them when they arrive to actually start telling them where to go. Where does everything go? Where do we want this? Where do we want that? And of course, once I've done it all, she's going to come back and tell me, no, I want this over here and I want this over here. It's her prerogative. She's a female. She is allowed to change her mind as many times as she wants.
Whoa! I saved Turtle Cat.
Oh, thank God you saved Dave. Dave the Turtle Cat.
It's not Dave. It's not Steve either. It is...
Is what?
Jack.
Oh, it's Jack.
Jack is back.
Jack is back. Right. So, because you're up at this level, it makes it a little bit harder. But anyway, I'll go this way.
Sorry, I'm just struggling.
That's okay. You gotta get your back. My back is stuffed and mine is stuffed as well. So tomorrow we could be up and down, but I've got to keep eyes on you at the same time as well, because you've got new carers who don't know you. who aren't able to medically look after Dyan. None of them are nursing quality staff. They're just support workers. So Dyan's obviously got complex health conditions between cardiac, respiratory, and obviously different types of seizures and dystonia. So we've got to keep close eyes on her. We're giving her some extra medication because this is a high stress period of time, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
With sleep, obviously disruptions, stresses of moving, and obviously familiarization of transitions of change. Eating, pain, sitting up, you're using muscles. Oh my God, all these things are happening. See, you don't like this bed there because it's got a cold backboard. Not a good bed to choose.
No, the other one I'll be getting is like, it goes around in a U shape.
It's one of those day beds you're talking about. Yeah, from IKEA. Okay, so apparently there's already something on my IKEA list to get. Yes, there is.
Well, if I can afford it.
If you can afford it, and if I measure it and find out that there's no room for it. Anyway, we'll work on that one. This apartment is bigger than what we are coming from, so there is a lot more space for us to move around,
but we just
thankfully.
have to do our measurements, Matt, because we don't know.
We always measure carefully. Measure twice,
we'll be
cut once,
measuring,
people.
but I'm
just
just
remember
saying,
that.
like, it's a possibility
Yep, we'll have a
because
look at it for you.
compared to last time we had it set up with our old queen bed for guests, but we only really need a single bed for guests because you know what, guys? If we ever had 2 people come and be guests, you know what? There's these cool inflatable mattresses now.
Correct.
That are super comfortable.
Because you're sitting up.
Yeah, sit up.
I have to sit up.
Like there's these super like self-inflatable mattresses and deflatable mattresses that you roll up and you can put it in your storage room.
Called an air mattress.
Yeah. But more comfortable.
I think we've heard of air mattresses before.
No, but there's actual ones that are more comfortable than that.
Taking the piss. Okay, so there's comfortable air mattresses.
And what they do is they self-inflate, so they're very quick. Yep. You don't need to pump it.
Nope.
And then they deflate very quickly.
Oh, air mattresses are good at deflating.
And then you just roll them very funny.
Yes.
And then put it in your storeroom.
Indeed.
I recommend that.
Well, I've got a swag. I've got a camping air mattress I can use.
Guests are not going to want that. I am.
Honey, we don't have any
been
guests.
Trained to now, be a good guest.
Can I also talk about
a
a sad thing as well that's come up? And this was yesterday. And I was a bit emotional actually in this process as well. And that was because I was doing some paperwork. And look, part of obviously this moving process, we are under the NDIS, the National Disability Insurance Scheme, using SDA, Specialist Disability Accommodation for Dyan, because Dyan's obviously got quite complex, high functioning needs for disability. And that's a bit of a misnomer of the name, but it means that she has a lot of needs because she can't function. Highest level. So there's 5 different levels for SDA, and she's under the highest level of needs because of not only accessibility but the complexities of the health condition. So we're under SDA under the NDIS, but we're also, as any residential tenancy agreement goes, under REWA, which is Real Estate of WA. And I was having to fill out their forms because there's multi-parts to the business structure and the way they organise things, right?
Yeah.
And look, I spent, this is my Sunday down day. So after all the boxes and all the preparation and getting everything moved, I still had 2.5 hours, I think I spent on that, of paperwork.
No, more than that. 4.
Maybe more.
4.
Really? God, where does time go?
4.
No wonder my back was sore because I was sitting up and having to do all this paperwork.
And
I'm sure most...
I
know you're frustrated at that.
No, I was thinking,
appreciate that. It was exhausting.
What's going on is you've got 5,000 things to do. I didn't realise you were doing the one thing.
So apart from having to go down to Officeworks amongst all this moving, because I had to print these things out, because they haven't provided it in a digital format for me to fill out in line. Helpful, not. So I still had to go to Officeworks late at night, print out 2 docs. One was 18 pages and another was 16 pages for the REWA rental tenancy agreement as well as the rental application. But the part that was a bit sad for both of us when I was also explaining it.
Yes.
Do you want to explain a bit more about this? What was making me sad, I guess?
I think it's not understood in disability that we don't have friends.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have references anymore for that type of thing because, yeah, I'm sure we could ring all our old friends, but, you know, it's been a while. And you know why? Just like the elderly. You get put in a home and it's the same with disability. I'm not fun anymore to some people. Not everyone, but majority of people. This is why...
And there's a knock-on effect as well. Dyan's a little bit upset because I was upset yesterday too over this. And she's right. This is just one aspect. First of all, we don't have friends, but I also use the word collectively.
They don't stick it out.
Not just the person with disability, but me as her partner and sole full-time carer. It's your time and focus, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week as a carer, as a partner, is purely on her health, safety, and well-being. There is no limitation on when things stop. She could have a cardiac or respiratory or a seizure or whatever else at any time of the day, multiple times of the day, as we've seen. So we're always on alert and always conscious. So when other people along the way, family or friends, say, "Oh, look, can you come over this holiday or come for this party or come to this event?" We've never really been able to over the recent, probably the last 10 or so years, more so, as her health condition has deteriorated and got worse. So you're right.
And people don't want that.
No.
And it's like, guys, I'm just going to say this, like, I think Australia's the worst for it. I'm sorry.
Okay, and maybe it is. And I'd like to hear from other people about what they're experiencing in their own countries as well. But you're right. I think what happens is, and I've seen this myself anecdotally, a lot of people with very complex, particularly chronic conditions. And chronic conditions are long term. Remembering Dyan, when I first met her, she started entering into chronic conditions. Over 30 years, she had ME/CFS, myalgic encephalomyelitis, chronic fatigue syndrome. Understandable because of her genetic chromosomal disorder, because her immune system is totally shot, having 22q11.2 deletion syndrome.
I was meant to be in hospital.
Bingo.
And they medicated
But
me to sleep.
over 30 years, where you may have had school friends or work friends, a lot of those went by the by, and they were no longer around and available.
For a while.
Correct. Now, 10 years ago, I started to slow down from having my own businesses or working very high-powered jobs. I was very sought after internationally in the marketing area, whether it was for international companies in technical marketing, and that was my skill set. So as a global marketing manager or head of marketing or general manager for companies, or like I said, running my own business. About 10 years ago, I had to slow down and say, well, look, I'm going to work from home initially because Diane's condition was deteriorating. And then I stopped working because I had to focus full time on that. Now, as soon as you stop in a workplace, you're leaving behind the friends or the acquaintances that you meet in those situations, or your network who you're engaging with, because your life is suddenly leaps and bounds changes to a different paradigm. You're in a different situation.
Even like, anyway. Happy Vlogmas though.
It is happy Vlogmas.
Like, this
Vlogmas
is a good chat about, think of this to like Christmas, okay? What happens to some of you disabled?
That's why my conversation. Yeah.
But basically, it is actually unacceptable that we're not accepted, to be quite honest. Exclusion is bullying.
Yep.
Always remember that. Just being excluded alone is bullying.
Yeah.
And that's what we have happened to us. And that's what people do to us.
Correct.
And even your support workers, okay, same thing, right? You could be physically suffering and there's still toxic positivity cheering you on, and it's like, seriously? Like, I am busting my ass to stay alive. Most people with my syndrome are dead, okay?
Or should be in hospital under... As we know, your GP, her primary care physician, has said, I want you in hospital for weeks if need be, so that 20 plus specialists, the ologists, can all poke and prod you and test you and look after you and support you and help you through multiple procedures and tests and whatever else. He's massively concerned, and yet here we are moving house. But the point of this conversation was, I faced this paperwork, and you talked about one aspect, and that was when you do these paperworks, they want referees. Who are the people that will give you recommendations? Have we though? I've got a sister. My parents have passed away. I've only got my sister in contact. You're an orphan, so again, even under the family references, your family references your sister-in-law, my sister. So there's a place for two. I've got one. You've got one, and it's my one person. Then we look at who are our family or professional references. Well, professionally, I'm in this isolated. You don't have a job. You haven't worked for 10 plus years.
For 10 years.
So do you understand that these forms don't actually really match the experience and the lifestyle of what people with disability or in a house of disability, particularly chronic, long-term or complex.
Your family is your primary carer. And look, I will say, like, that's part of my religion is family first. Okay? And it's the same with even, and that's a tricky area too, is like female carers, not male carers, right? It is just part of, like, if I know a man long enough and trust them, I will be alone with that man. But I've been raised Protestant as well as Catholic,
Mm.
and
It's just your religious values are being
chaperoned.
chaperoned,
My
basically.
grandfather was,
Yep.
and my uncle's was, no, you will be chaperoned by all of us, and that's it.
Sure.
And it's not a bad thing.
No.
It's a protective thing.
Correct.
And I respect that. So if you're offended, I apologise, but I accept this
and it's your
for
choice.
myself. Your choice is your choice, but this is how I choose to be. That it is part of my religion today.
Sure.
Is how I expect to be treated, is like to be around the situations that I want to be.
Yeah. So
it's tricky,
so
the whole thing.
We went through this, and I just want to wrap that part up about the paperwork and what it triggered for both of us to be.
Well, you felt ashamed, and I told him off.
Yes, and I agree. I agree.
I told
you
him
did.
off. I said, don't you dare, because you were serving so much towards me.
The feeling of
shame, me alive, Matt.
The feeling of shame or being ashamed. Where does it come from? And the part where it comes from is
when my family out there should be doing damn well better.
Okay. The part of the shame part comes from
disgusting.
How do you explain this? How do you explain in these forms of why I don't have multiple referees?
Because my family sucks.
Okay, calm down and let's just go through this, please. The part of it is even more ironic. In the area that I worked in, and particularly because I was doing marketing and social media marketing, if you look at my connections and the people who are in my network, and obviously, whether it was presenting at massive presentations and conferences and corporate events and being able to speak to thousands of people or knowing people online, I have over 7,000 people connected to me on LinkedIn. But the reality is, I don't actually have a friend in real life who's connected with me today because of where my life has led going down this pathway of being a full-time carer. Whether it's on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok or whatever else.
You for supporting me, and that's just disgusting.
Well, it's because you leave life as a carer, and many carers who are also on our channel, and a big shout out to all of them.
The guts to stick around.
Many of those carers may also have chronic health conditions themselves. They might be trying to support a family member, their partner, a loved one, but they're also probably trying to get through life in general. And it's a very hard and isolating life, not just for the participant, the person with disability, but also for the carer. And sometimes those carers have also got health conditions as well.
Because paid carers still have a life.
Correct, and they get paid.
Money,
but the form yesterday, I think it just really flagged up in front of me. And I appreciate you actually saying, look, don't be ashamed. And it's not that I'm ashamed. I was disappointed, and you did lecture me. She was lecturing me, and it was good.
Serving, and that's what God
But that's
asked.
not what we have to deal with in society. It's how we have to. It's how we have to explain ourselves in society to other people. And what I also was feeling is these forms are not really disability friendly because they don't have an understanding, or they might also trigger people to feel sad or depressed or isolated and lonely, even more so because they have this expectation of filling a format.
Even though I said to you what I said to you, and I stand by it. But you know what? I also feel like it's my fault.
Yeah, correct. You bring that onto yourself.
I
caused this.
Not being able to be, and that's why it hurts with my children, because I know I was a good mum. And I know I'm a good wife, but the problem is my children don't quite accept my disability.
No.
No, I feel guilt because they do deserve better. Yeah. You deserve better. But it's not my fault.
Correct. And that's the thing.
So it's a tricky thing.
This is a bit like the genetic condition.
And I wasn't told
Just remember that
because of my fucking family.
Correct. Dyan was born with a condition that she had no choice of. She didn't do any action to cause herself to be sick. In fact, she has always strove to actually work through and go past and go through her condition above and beyond, and put herself more at risk by doing so, by the way. Even when she was running a not-for-profit organisation, she had set up herself as a person who studied psychology and social work, and she was giving back to the community. There she was, coming home every day and having seizures and neurological conditions because she was doing too much. She has a big heart. She wants to give, but she was detrimental to her own impact, and that had to stop, unfortunately, along the way. So there's a lot of losses. There's losses of careers. There's losses of family and friends and participation in society. And then you become very isolated. And we've seen this along the way. And I'm sure many people this will resonate or relate to as well.
We need to stop having only friendships at work. It's pathetic.
Well, here's also some of the answers too, because I still had to fill out this form. It's like, well, if you don't fill out the form in all these gaps, how can they do their reference checks, and it's such a joke, it's such a farce. But anyway, so I was having to use things like your GP, who knows you for more than 8 years, as a reference. Your support coordinator, who's known you for a couple of years, as your reference. So these are not personal references, these are not friends, but these are people professionally who you're having to interact and deal with, who actually do know the ins and outs of your life day to day, who can at least comment and give an insight into you, the person, and your needs, and who have actually seen your living environment and what you go through. So it's totally different, but that's what we have to do. And I'm sure, again, I'm hoping that it resonates with some people and might make some other people think. And if you are a property manager or you're an investor into real estate, you do have to understand that people with disability and sometimes their families have got a different experience, okay? And with that different experience, there's some different expectations, or you might need to make some different accessibility and requirements. But we've got through that, and it was a bit of a sad time, and I'm sorry it upset you. It upset me as well. Okay, I must admit I was disappointed and frustrated, probably because I was also too tired. It's like we've just been doing days and days and days of packing, and then someone wants to do this, check the boxes and identify us and all that sort of mucking around.
I'm ready to live in the bush.
Well, we have said this. If we are ever forced, and I use that word forced, to move because of another organisation who lets us down or fails us, and that's the only thing that's happened to us in the last 5 or 6 moves, it's people who have promised, who have said, put even things in writing, and have then turned on us and said, oh no, well, suddenly your rent's going to increase by $700. It's like, well, when the fuck are we going to get $700 to increase your rent? As an example. Or who've gone and said, oh no, this is always going to be a long-term rental, and then saying, oh, we're going to sell. We're selling now. It's like, but we moved in here and you said this is a long-term rental for the next 10 years. No, we're going to sell. These are the sort of experiences. And look, some things I know happen and you can't always control. But boy, have we been through the ringer. We've had to go through so much change. And that change comes back to what you're going through. All this transitions, all this stress, all this unnecessary moving, and our exhaustion and putting us at risk,
and
wasting our time.
They sort of said that, like, you'll be able to be my carer through this process, but that's not going to be the case.
Yeah, so that's a bit frustrating for you because, again, what people say, a bit like the glossy brochure approach to life. I don't know what I'm going to do but stare at the ceiling or watch my... Well, we'll put the iPad on the arm so that you could watch a couple of movies. What have you got up there? You've got The Heat, and you've got Tammy up there. A couple of your favourite movies. Because there's no internet. And even with the TV that's on the other side, it was like, well, how does Dyan get out to the other side onto the couch when there's no pressure care mattress? I could be out there for probably very short space of time. My body will tell me. But there's no point because the pain will tell me. The TV is on the wall. There's no internet, so the TV is not connected. There's no coaxial cable. There's no antenna, so it's not. It's just a TV that's on the wall, which you can't turn on because there's nothing for it to show, if that makes sense. So you can't get any terrestrial land TV. You can't pick up anything via the internet. It's a pointless. Luckily, we did bring a DVD. Just set it up. Everything has only just been done. With the first pancake, I was just explaining that. We're the first pancake, so because of that, everything's new and they're having to get a feel of it all, and we're trying to work our way through, whilst they're also trying to work through new staff, new procedures, new paperwork. I would not get these beds for kids. No, why not? I'm just saying, like, very, flimsy. I feel that too. But no, they're very, like... It's okay for you, you're a lightweight, but I'm a little bit slick. Bigger boy, so, yeah. You're not that big, but, you know. I am a big boy. No, I mean as in, like... I've been losing weight, hey. I'm not talking about weight, I'm talking about, like... Yeah. I don't know, like... Anyways, so overall... Are we in a good spot after our transition, now that you've had a chance to think about it all? Like, I think... I can see you attacking Turtle there. Yeah, like he's keeping me company, guys. Thank you so much, Naomi. It's a sensory toy, and that's great. You're comforting me. Look at this. Look what you guys are doing for me. And I miss you. It's okay. It's hard. Basically, change, yeah. I think that depending on how tomorrow goes, with me being around people I don't know very well. Yeah. But something comforting is, I guess, if I bump into all the people here I have known for 2 years. That'd be so familiar and that'd be so uplifting for you. That will be quite emotional and comforting. Yeah. Now, how I feel tomorrow too, physically after today, because today I also got pushed, as I said before, way too much out of my sort of... Because during this process I had to actually dismantle an entire disability bed. Now, I don't know if you've seen these high-low companion beds. They are normally a two-man job to actually do. It is so many parts. I had to do it on my own. Very difficult. Last person, a technical person who did it, spent 3 hours actually doing the whole process.
But you
I've
did
done
it
in an hour, less than. All by myself.
Less than that he did, but he was physically huffing and puffing. It's a lot of.
But you're having to sit
heavy.
up. You're not actually able to lie down, and then we're waiting for people. So that's been part of our strain, is that you have not been in a good, comfort, safe sitting position during this transition. So that's something I wish we could have done better. That's going to have an impact, and you're going to have to recover tomorrow.
I can feel it in the middle.
Oh, I bet you are.
There's a
middle thoracic
in my. Where is it?
Rib section up the top, which is mid-thoracic.
No, in the middle of my back.
Yeah.
Like right in the middle of my shoulder blades. Right in the middle.
Right in the middle, right in that spot. We have to click that maybe.
I can feel it, guys, and it's just driving me nuts. It's like, feels like someone's got a bolt just screwed it in there.
Well, that's one of your 3 impingement points that you've actually got.
I know, that's what I'm saying. The doctor said get the lower back scanned.
You probably need to get the middle back as well.
When I next see him, I'm going to be like, can I get my shoulder, between my shoulder blades?
Yeah, thoracic section.
It's hurting. And he'll know if I say it's hurting, I mean it.
It's really hurting.
Because I don't say it.
Well,
I'm really slow to say things. I'm like, oh, it hurts, but I'll tell the doctor.
Interoception.
I know it hurts, but I'll tell the doctor later.
Auditory processing, executive functioning, all communication.
No, but I also I think it's been like since my early days because, you know, my mother gaslit me on my physical symptoms as a child. And early sort of adulthood, didn't they? The male doctors gaslit me too. And look at me now, you know, how wrong are they?
The medical misogyny in the system is terrible.
Misogyny is terrible. But basically, you know, looks are deceiving.
Oh, yeah. And females, autistics masking incredibly well.
So I don't say because I'm used to that pattern. So until it's like, I don't know, a pain or a problem for like anywhere from like 3 to 6 months, I don't say anything.
I know, right?
And they go, why didn't you say anything? Because I'm just used to it.
Yeah.
I can't.
Well, you think that people
now.
aren't going to give a shit,
fixed.
and you don't think people will make a difference or even try and help you, and
I'm
that's
just
the
so
impact
fixed
overall.
in that routine of saying,
that's what we're trying to
it
break.
might get better. It might get better.
Yeah, that's right. We're taking better and closer care to you and looking after you. So look, we've got through day 1, the actual move into temporary accommodation. We've achieved that. All of the animals have come across. They're all safe and they're all content and settled.
Vlogmas. Sorry, it's not the Vlogmas that
You're
I like to give.
At least you're wearing your
but
Vlogmas
I'm wearing my
Christmas
Vlogmas pajamas. I've got 3 Vlogmas pajamas.
Good on you. At least you're doing that.
3 Vlogmas pajamas.
I'm not. I'm just wearing the same stuff that I'm wearing every day.
Wait till you see my next Vlogmas pajamas.
Pajamas? That's like a plural. Pajamas.
3.
You got So you got 3. Hopefully tomorrow's a better day. I've got none.
I tried to get him to, guys. Comment below. Say, sir, get yourself some pajamas.
Christmas pajamas.
Christmas.
Yeah.
Or t-shirts
we'll
at Christmas.
Maybe at BW.
Because I keep telling him, and he's like, no. I'm like, Vlogmas,
I haven't been spending any money.
Vlogmas.
I'm saving monies.
Vlogmas.
All is good.
So sorry it's not the Vlogmas that, you know, every day that I can give, but
this is our everyday life. This is our moving experience, and you're coming along through the good, the bad, and the ugly.
I didn't want to say, we're not going to do Vlogmas just because we're moving.
Well,
That's not fair.
You've dressed up for the occasion. That's good.
I like things that are joyous.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's Jesus' birthday coming up. So we're all having a party,
Do we get him a present? I can't remember. We need to get organised for that.
And so we're all having a party.
We are having a party.
Big feast, whatever else. But I'm not going to stop Vlogmas just because I'm moving.
No, you won't.
So it is a different Vlogmas. It's respite Vlogmas at the moment.
Yeah.
Then when we get up to the apartment, it's unpacking Vlogmas.
Just remind me when I get to have some respite. I like that word, respite.
Respite
is when the carers are meant to have a rest and a break.
We're going to respite together because you have to care for me to rot nest.
It is such an idiosyncrasy.
Hi, Milo.
I
Yeah, so
hey, big boy.
in February, you might get a bit of nice footage of Rottnest in Western Australia. So if you're not from Western Australia, which a lot of you are,
come with us on a summer holiday,
you
island
will
holiday.
See where I used to go when I was a little kid and hang out for hours camping annually.
Well, we're going glamping. Disability glamping at Rottnest Island.
And Rottnest was better in my day.
Yep.
There was only the general store and
3
the
days,
bakery.
2 nights.
Right?
Lots of fun.
Bakery, general store, that was it.
Well, there's a lot more now.
And we liked it like that.
We got a bus tour around, we got the train tour around, we're taking the Gophers.
But you know what?
We've got snorkeling.
No, but you know what?
It's quokkas.
No, but think of this.
Yeah.
Think of this, WA government.
Mm-hmm.
Think of this. If Rottnest was authentic like it was in the 70s and 80s when
OG.
I was a kid and going there,
yeah,
it would have been like going back in time for everybody, even if you've never been there before.
No, there's been some revamps recently, so it's not the old days. It's now, very modern, commercialised. Yeah, we like the old days, don't we?
We like
Getting back to nature.
log
fires.
cabin and with a log fire.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, a log cabin.
Get the words out, honey. Your word finding is gone.
Cabin.
Yep.
In the bush.
Yep.
Self-sufficient run.
Yep.
All alone, and with maybe other loners around us somewhere.
Yep.
Just every now and then to heaven.
Yep.
Heaven.
To toast marshmallows together.
Heaven.
Sounds good to me.
Like, you don't need much.
No.
Okay? I've lived in a shed.
Actually, you have in the hills, in the Prongrups. You've been off-grid. Off-grid living.
Cool. I loved it.
Sawdust toilets.
And all you
No
had
running
in between
water.
was like curtains, was your walls.
Yep. Dyan's had a very
And
interesting, eclectic life.
we all used to fight over who used to have the first bath, because the first person in the bath had to light the fire outside. And underneath the pergola, we call it pergola
here in Aussie. Yep.
But basically, it was a barrel, half barrel. And we used to have to get the kindling, light it, and that would heat the water. And as soon as the water was hot, you start the bath, and the same bath water was used. And so I used to want to be first. No, I used to want to be last because it's like I cannot be bothered doing that, because I was really, like, it took me a longer time than the others to work out how to light a fire. Whereas my brother tended to be the first. Now, he wasn't just the first because he was the oldest and he was the, like, compared to me and my cousin.
So he's really a pyromaniac then, yep.
No, he was just older and he knew how to do it.
Yeah.
And guess why? Because he was like a germaphobe like my mum and me.
Right.
And he was like, I'm not bathing in the same water as you guys. And we were like, oh, we didn't think of that. Now, we used to pretty much bath together anyway because we were young, right? You do. He's a boy. I'm a girl. We didn't care.
Yeah, as infants, as children,
He's autistic too. He just doesn't know it. But basically, we didn't care. But when we thought about it, we were like, oh, I never thought of that. Because we were not allowed to empty the water to refill it because that was a waste.
That's it.
And then, of course, the pie cost. Well,
okay, leave the pie cost for another day.
It was a big deal to me until I was told what it was, which was all it was go to the toilet after like 7:30 p.m. and that's it. And I was like,
it was an encouragement or a fright to make sure you perform before a certain time.
But anyway, it had to be sort of obviously very scary to make me do it. So it was like, pie cost will get you. Anyway, years later, I found the courage to ask Uncle Ray. I said, Uncle Ray, what's the pie cost? He's like, about $1.10.
Pie cost.
And my brother and my cousin laughed.
Literal autistic.
And never knew. Like, you guys knew.
But you didn't.
You didn't?
No.
No.
You were the family joke, basically.
Yep.
You're a laugh a minute. Indeed. Well, guys, we're going to love you and leave you there.
I still have images of a pie cost.
She does, whatever that conjures up and actually looks like. Probably something from Stranger Things, to be honest.
Go down to the Prongrups.
Prongrups, or the sleeping lady. Give us a big thumbs up of encouragement as we get through the whole moving process. We're nearly there. I have a sudden funny feeling that if everything arrives tomorrow by truck, I think we'll be building things maybe even throughout the night.
It's not going to happen.
Just because I think we need to move Dyan very quickly into her normal routine to stabilise her.
It's not going to happen in one day. And
Fingers.
am I going to be watching two movies?
Twice and over on loop. Yep.
We're going to be watching it every night over and over?
Yep.
And all day over and over when I have my rest?
You have your DVD player.
Can you plug it into this?
No, you can't.
Damn!
But we'll get some internet hopefully another day or two and stream it. I know. Guys, if you're new to the channel, welcome. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Love to hear your thoughts, ideas, comments and suggestions below. And don't forget to get those coming. Have a wonderful Vlogmas as we do the build up towards Christmas. There is a Christmas theme to it at this stage. Our only Christmas theme is her wearing Christmas pyjamas. Thank God she's done that. because it's been moving day for us, so we're in that process. We will see you.
Sorry for my headband. It is over there.
It is somewhere, but you can. We've packed it, bubble wrapped it, somewhere like that. All right, guys. Love you and leave you. See you soon. Bye for now.